Hey everyone, it's the 20th of July. You know what that means. It's been 4 years since O.J. Simpson got released from prison. It was also the date of the Apollo 11 landings. Neil Armstrong, all that sort of stuff. Well, if you believe in that stuff, most people don't anymore for some reason. But it's also the date of the new Macan release. Facelift maybe? Let's talk about this. Something seems strange about this, right? If you look at the last 2 decades of Porsche, they've had a very strict release cycle for every model. 7 years. So 7 years before the next generation. And a little over halfway through that 7 years, at the 4-year mark, they get a facelift, which is often called the .2 model. And the .2 model isn't just change a bit of plastic here and there. It is a significant change to the vehicle. Often a full refresh of the engines, a bunch of extra options added to the configurator, and a lot of other stuff like changes in colors and so forth. Most often the facelift models are commented on as being, this should have been a new model. There's so much change, this should have been a new model. So if we look at the Macan, it was released in 2015 and we expected a 7-year cycle as well. And sure enough, at 2019 we got the facelift, and it was everything we expect from Porsche each time. They completely renewed the engines, added a bunch of options, they cleaned up the inside a little bit, and of course they added more colors. So that was definitely a normal facelift. And here we are 3 years later expecting the 2nd generation of the Macan, and it hasn't really happened. What we've got is a 2nd facelift. But luckily for you guys, I've smuggled a secret video out of the Porsche boardroom meeting, which I can share with you as long as you don't tell anyone that I've got it. Guten Morgen. Wir sprechen das English with New Zealand accent for 9 logical reasons. How is das launch of 2nd generation Macan? It is 7 years. 9, Herr Chairman. We regret das new Macan is not ready. Not ready? Why, Herr Hoffmann? Herr Chairman, we only have das center console completed. Danke, Herr Hoffmann. But ein center console does not make das new Porsche. Ja, Herr Chairman. But maybe it is enough to trick das customers. Oh, Fräulein? Ja, we can take das current Macan, use Herr Hoffmann's new console, swap around an engine, tinker with das plastic bits, and add das colors. 9 effort for engineers at all. Das customers will go full tend for it. Full tend? But das customers are nicht stupid. Ein Trick? 9, das Porsche customers are very stupid. We're even looking at ein new product. First wir take das rusty piece of iron, add das Porsche logo, das ridiculous name, das monumental price, and das limited production. Ja, they will be wetting their pleated khakis. Das half-ass Macan facelift approved, and das Panorama GTS and GT3 approved. And there you have it, the inside scoop. And some of you are probably quite surprised about some of the information in that video. Firstly, that Porsche executives take all their clothes off for board meetings. Secondly, when they're at work, they don't speak German, they speak English in a New Zealand accent. Who would have known? But here we are. We've sort of got a half-assed facelift because they're behind in their schedule, but it's really not a bad thing. There are some really cool updates in this facelift. Firstly, that center console, it really made the car look dated. Well, the buttons are actually easier to use, I think, than the modern consoles. Yeah, it's a big difference. And of course, the gear shifter as well is a little shorter and fatter, like myself. You know, that's a cool update as well. But if we look at the external sides, you know, the new wheels are really nice, particularly the new wheels on the Macan S. They're a big improvement. And yes, of course, as the lady in the meeting said, we'll just throw on an extra color. So they've taken away my beautiful Mamba green and they replaced it with the Papyrus, which is an orange color, which I also absolutely love. And finally, Porsche producing deviated stitching packages that match the outside colors properly. So you get the papaya and you get the gentian blue, etc. And that's a really nice effect. Deviated stitching is not for everyone, but it's a more subtle way of bringing the color into the car than, you know, painting the interior or making the seat the same color, which looks ridiculous. So those are some pretty cool upgrades. Otherwise, it's just cosmetic plastic changes on the outside. And of course, we have moved that 2.9 litre engine to the S model as well, which is awesome. That is a really nice engine. It's unknown how much actual horsepower it's going to produce. Porsche says 375, but their quoted horsepower levels are completely out these days. And of course, they've removed the turbo, which I think is also a good move because there was really nothing special about the turbo. Between the GTS and the turbo, there was no real power difference. So the turbo was just a waste of $14,000 to get. So goodbye turbo, you won't be missed. The GTS was the better buy anyway. So of course I'll do a more in-depth video when it comes out, and that video will be in 4K. Yes, you're probably wondering, where are the videos lately, Nick? Well, I've finally decided after a bunch of you badgered me to move to 4K, and I've got a lot of cameras to upgrade and change because I want to do 4K 60 frames per second, and it's a big learning curve, and I'm still waiting on equipment. So once we've got that in, we'll be away. And of course, I go into hiding after making any Macan video because Macan owners, which I'm one of, are the most angry, insecure, militant mob within the Porsche community. They just cannot handle me giving any criticism at all to this model. And so of course I'll be flooded with email after people watch this video as well, particularly when they see this next part of the video.
Here, Chairman, do we keep pushing the nonsense that this is a sports car? Of course!
Yes, the sad truth that it's actually a soccer mum's car, despite being a Porsche, is not going to go down well with the mob that is the Macan owners. But they're still going to make ridiculous claims like their Macan GTS is faster than a 911. Anyway, thanks for watching this quick video, everyone. I'll get back to some real videos as soon as I can. Bye then.
And if you're wondering where to acquire the ridiculous t-shirts that I wear in my videos, they're all here in my store, all your favorites, including offensive stamps and my rapid dry towels as well. Yes, Nick Murray t-shirts, being a little inappropriate since 2016. Damn it, where are my trousers?